3, 2, 1, clap.
Huh?
Benoit balls.
I still think Kevin Sullivan did it.
I'm Aubrey Edwards. I'm not a wrestler.
Tony's quick sniffs of the week.
No, just my dickhead friends causing concussions and shit. All right, never mind.
There's barbecue sauce. So good, half the face don't work.
With Hogan that close up on the fucking camera reminds me of my racist uncle. I know you ain't listening, but you know who you are, you fucking racist.
Uncle Oh my God, for real, don't tell me that's his name. No way. I was kidding. I swear to God. I'm scared. It was just the first name that came to my head. It was the first name.
Welcome to the Top of Wrestling with your hosts ODM and the Professor.
Good Wrestling Day. That's right. It's the final countdown. Final countdown because this weekend we got a double banger of a weekend for Labor Day. We got 2 pay-per-views. It's a tale of 2 pay-per-views, as we like to call it. And it's another Wednesday. It's 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, so you know it's the Top of Wrestling podcast. Thanks for joining us. I am the Professor, Mark Fantasia, welcoming you as always. Today we got news we got bringing to the table. We have our top topic, which is non-wrestling 6. And we also will be reliving the Monday Night Wars 25 years later. 2 unlikely duos that are tag teaming together, both on Raw and Nitro. And one of them ends up in, gold. And 2 people are booked twice that night, Rock and Mankind. Very big night for Raw, so I'm excited to get into that. But I can't really get too deep into the show until I bring in the man who is to podcasting, is what Corey Feldman is to guitar playing. Ladies and gentlemen, ODM.
Who's the man? Who's the man? We are, because we are the masters and the ruler of the world.
Okay, you redeemed yourself. You're not Corey Feldman anymore.
Even I'm better than Corey Feldman.
Have you seen these videos where he just does the wow, wow, wow with his mouth and he's touching nothing? Oh, my God. And it's funny. Fred Durst, did you see the video? And he's like, he got up close and he goes, he's actually playing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you even play the guitar, so who the fuck are you? Anyway, it's been bad to watch, but it's, anyway, besides that, yeah, man, rest in peace to Psycho Sid. Well, hang on. So you got Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, Sid Yudi, or however you say his last name, Yudi.
Yudi, I believe.
Sure.
Sure.
Was it 63? Passed away at?
Yeah, man. It's weird. And I'm, we always poke fun at the most serious stuff, so I'll start off with that. I don't know if you happen to catch Raw, but
no. Some of it, yes.
They did a nice tribute package. They've been doing a lot lately with Afa and Sika passing away, and Kevin Sullivan, and now Sid, and they did a great package.
Well, people are giving him content.
Well, and it's fun. And it's funny because they're like, prowess and how he's such a monster and he would just decimate people, but outside of the ring, a caring man. And
there was that time. And I'm not as dead as you think I am. Or as you are. It's funny because until earlier today, while doing my own little research, because, hey, we say it in the top topic. We make sure we do our research and stuff. I remember him stepping away from WWF and I didn't realize he had multiple neck issues and surgeries throughout his career. But I didn't know that he just quit and was like, I'm going to go do softball for a while. That was new to me. You probably were into him a lot more, or saw a lot more of him in the early years, right, in WCW, because, he was in the 87 to 91, basically. He was in WCW. What do you remember?
Yeah, I definitely remember him in the Skyscrapers. His injury is what led to Mean Mark Callis getting that spot with Dan Spivey. So, if it weren't for Sid's injury, we wouldn't necessarily have The Undertaker, the whole butterfly effect thing. But, yeah, I definitely remember them being one of my favorites as a kid just because they were dominant. I mean, they were the skyscrapers. They would just wreck shit. And it's one of those things you never really think about. I never really think about how much Southern wrestling and WCW wrestling, NWA wrestling I used to watch back in the day, until we relive all of this stuff. But I'll tell you what. I know our banner picture on Twitter and some pictures I've sent to you of all of my old wrestling figures that my parents still have. And I have the WCW Sid Vicious, the one that doesn't move. It's just the permanent pose. I've got the Sid Vicious one.
Man, I feel like I had remember how they had summer plastic, but then some were the rubber versions?
Yeah, this was the rubber. Yeah.
That's what I felt like I had too.
Yep.
That'd be kind of crazy for the same one. Was it his first stint or his second stint in WCW where he nearly killed, I believe, Brian Pillman?
Yeah, it was the power bomb right into the top of the War Games cage.
Yes.
He lifted him up and just basically slammed him head first into the top of the cage. That might be. I think that was his first run. Yeah, because it was War Games.
I think so too.
And that might have even been before they went under the WCW banner. It still might have been NWA. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he came into WWE or WWF in mid to late '91, and he came in as Sid Justice.
Yep.
And he ended up being the special guest referee for Hogan and Warrior versus Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa, Iron Sheik. Ends up staying there and doing the part where he ends up, man, he's the reason, or he eliminates basically Hulk Hogan from the most infamous Royal Rumble everybody says is the best ever, where Flair wins in '92. And Hogan does his shady, bitchy bullshit and tries to pull him out of the ring. And they end up setting up the match where, not many people know this. Sid is one of very few men that has actually headlined not only one but two WrestleManias, but also he headlined a Starrcade. Not many men can give that accolade. They did a Starrcade and a WrestleMania. Kind of a big thing.
No, absolutely.
Flair never even headlined a WrestleMania.
No, closest he got was that double main event where it was supposed to be Hogan Flair, but it ended up being, who did Hogan fight? Was that Sid that year? Yeah, that was Sid that year, yeah.
WrestleMania 8.
And Flair wrestled Macho.
Yep. And shortly after, he was feuding with Ultimate Warrior on house show circuits, and due to a major disagreement between Warrior and Vince and how Warrior was supposed to be beating him and stuff, he ends up just quitting and said, fuck it, I'm going to go play some softball. And I'm sure it's because old Hellwig was like, oh, I got to beat him. It doesn't matter how big he is. I'm like, but we got to make this guy big. You know what I mean? Like, if right after losing to Hogan at Mania, that was the right feud because Warrior came in, the Papa Shango thing, yada, yada, yada. But instead, when Sid leaves to go play softball, we end up getting the Warrior Papa Shango throwing up oil bullshit that came about of it, and Jake Roberts getting involved. It was weird. He stuck around a little bit and, did whatever when it came to being in the WWF at that time. Went back to WCW, ended up, being a part of the USWA, the United States Wrestling Association. But my favorite time is, and we just covered it a couple of years ago, well, almost 3, where, god damn it, again, it's almost like he was owed one. Warrior has done a lot of no-shows at one point during 1996, already, right after coming back at WrestleMania 12, and they end up firing him, and they're like, well, wait, he was supposed to tag with Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson against Camp Cornette. What's it going to be? They bring Sid in, and it was great because he was face, everybody loved him, he was Psycho Sid, and ends up at the end of the year winning the WWF Championship from Shawn Michaels in Madison Square Garden. Multiple things that are infamous about this. The camera spot, which he did at WrestleMania the first time, but then also with Shawn. His entrance, to me, was so sick. That the whole thing, the lit up Sid, all of it, they started from backstage.
SummerSlam 96?
But the Survivor Series.
Survivor
96.
Series 96. Yep.
And then Vlad is in the crowd and goes ape shit. He's like, yeah, baby, yeah. And you knew he was happy to go hug him. Like, he had a smile. Ends up dropping the title to Shawn at Royal Rumble. Then ends up becoming champion again with all the bullshit that went down in Raw with Austin and Brett and all that bullshit. And he ends up headlining another WrestleMania with Undertaker. And stayed with WWF a little bit longer after that. But then pretty much, he was done. Had a lot of neck issues, but made a couple appearances. He did beat up Heath Slater during his Beating Up Legends tour that he was doing. Made a couple of appearances. Also was in ECW at one point, where Paul Heyman, before he came back to WCW, I forgot actually what we're watching right now. Jesus Christ. All that stuff. I tried to block it all out. But comes back all the way to the end of WCW's end, where he unfortunately breaks his leg in that match with, I believe it was Rick Steiner and someone else, or Scott Steiner, one or the other. But when his brief little stint, if you ever have a chance, just Google or look up or YouTube Psycho Sid, or just Sid Vicious, or whatever the fuck he was in ECW. Heyman gave him like 2 to 3 minute squash matches, but they were great. Like, they're actually fun to watch. Good shit. Man was a real good monster. I liked him as a heel. As a face for the little bit, it was cool as well, but
absolutely
loved him as a heel.
Absolutely. Yeah, check out Cornette. Cornette has a lot of stories about Sid, especially WWF stories. Backstage when he left to do that softball team thing, I think he was going through a lot of anxiety issues.
Oh,
which you wouldn't expect for somebody like that, right? Some monster like that. But I mean, it just goes to show they're all human. Vader was the same way, right? Poor Leon cried.
Leon.
But I mean, yeah, it's just I don't know, man. He's one of the greats who doesn't get recognized. It's unfortunate because a month ago he tweeted something about, now that Vince is gone, maybe he can get into the Hall of Fame.
I know, and maybe he'll get in this year coming up. Probably due to this, and if it is what it is, I'm okay with it. I wish it was when he was alive, kind of like when Randy was alive. It would have been so much better for him to have been there. And oh my God, could you imagine the Macho Man Hall of Fame speech?
Bro, it'd be insane. Be an all-timer.
And I told Jake, no, you gotta take the bite first. Psycho, Vicious, Justice, whatever you call them. It's kind of every girl I like. No, anyway. R.I.P. to Sid.
Oh, yeah.
But let's move on here. We do have the pay-per-view that happened this past weekend. We did have, or this coming weekend, we got AEW All Out in Chicago. And that is on Sunday. The night before, we got Bash in Berlin. And it's funny because I said, I can't wait to talk with you about Wembley. And I go, let's talk about it. And you said, bash it. And I said, well, Bash in Berlin is this weekend. And you go, well, I'm bashing all of AEW All In London. And it was very noticeable, by the way. It said AEW All In London. Every time on every logo, it's AEW All In London. I don't think they called it London last year. I just think it was just All In. But,
or All In Wembley, maybe. I don't remember.
So let's get in. I'm going to breeze through a lot of this. And I will say I told you. Sorry, I just set the drink down. I told you that I was going to try to breeze through this as quick as possible. Quick side note, I went into town in a total of 32 hours from New York, from Sacramento all the way back and forth. And when I got back, the pay-per-view had wrapped up at that time, and I was like, I'll throw it on in the background, and I'll just kind of fast forward through it, and then enough to be proper for the podcast. Well, I watched more than I thought I was going to. So I'm going to break into some of the stuff that is worth talking about. In the pre-show, Willa Bertha Faye and Tomohiro Ishii defeated Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. Then we have our second match that was called for. They only had 2 pre-show matches that was planned for. Dustin Rose, Sammy Guevara, and the Von Erich family defeat the Gates of Agony and Lance Archer. And Kevin Von Erich got in the ring and gave one of the guys the old claw.
The old claw.
which is kind of okay because next year the All In is in Texas. So I'm okay with that if it kind of pre-promotes for next year, but whatever. Then Saraya comes to the ring with her entire family and just starts saying, this show ain't going on till I get respect from everybody in this crowd. So I'm like, okay, who's coming out? And Becky Lynch 2.0, Jamie Hayter comes out. The
Come
hair and
on.
everything. I was like, yeah, that's what she looked like.
She looks way better.
Jamie Hayter returns on the pre-show
Yeah.
and defeats Saraya. Now, here's the thing. It's funny that they had this on the pre-show. She should have just did it somewhere else. She should. You know what? They were in Cardiff on Wednesday for Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they, first of all, had Okada and Claudio go to a draw. But you should have had Jamie show up there that night. And why I say that is, from what we found out, they actually had to cut time on certain matches because of they had to stop it directly at 10 p.m. England time. It started at 6 o'clock, went to 10 o'clock.
Curfew.
For their cable purposes.
Oh, curfew.
Because they ain't WCW. They know that it's not, that if it goes off at that time, it doesn't matter if DDP and Goldberg are in the ring or not. So they had to cut time in certain matches, which bothers me because video package all the way through his long entrance of, no lie, breakdancing, which I was like, are we making fun of the Olympics? And then it was the aerial assassin video game or whatever the fuck it's called, Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
All those big-ass entrance for Will Ospreay. Several things that it was way too many or way too much in the entrances, and they took away from matches that should have maybe had more time. We'll get into all that. First, we open up the show. Oh, shit, by the way, the end of the pre-show. This, you ready for the funny part on the pre-show? I watched it on my phone taking a shit. Fast-forwarding on YouTube. I'm not going to lie, because it was on YouTube, and I go, all right. Fast forward. And we'll get into one very good part when we get to TK Sniffs. I can't wait to talk about the pre-show on that. But all of a sudden, they're doing the entrances for the opening match, which is the 4-way trios tag team ladder match. I said that right. Okay.
Yeah, close enough.
All the entrances, I go, huh, maybe they're doing the pre-show thing like they used to do for the free-for-all. You would actually get the first couple of minutes of the real pay-per-view just to tease your fucking ass. And you're like, oh my God, I got it. All right, I'm going to call in the cable provider right now. I'm talking like 97. Nope. They just completely cut the entrances for all 4 teams for this because they had to just open up with, and it's AEW All In London. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure they opened with it's Sunday, and you know what that means, because fucking they're still holding on to everything of Brody Lee if they can.
Yep.
And then all 12 men just slide in the ring, bell rings, go. Shitty opening to a pay-per-view, by the way. I was like, that's just... Anyway, and it was won by the team that was put together one night before on Collision, of course, which was Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio and Wheeler. It's funny they're still using the Blackpool Combat Club, a thing that William Regal made, and they're still holding it together.
Well, what's even more hilarious is that Pac is from Blackpool upon Tyne. So it actually kind of makes sense. They should just put him in the fucking group because he's the only guy from Blackpool.
I would actually take out Moxley.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Apparently, the news was that Pac and the Lucha Brothers were actually supposed to win these trios championships, but due to them basically letting their contracts, just expire, that's, they put them over here to help Pac at least. And we'll get into a little bit more with Pac in a minute, but they defeated Patriarchy, House of Black, and the Gangbang Club. Now, what happened at the end of the match with the Patriarchy is Luchasaurus got mad and started throwing his arms, being like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And Christian's like, what's your problem? They didn't really zoom in on it, but you could see it. The next match, what I said could be a better headliner if you didn't do Swerve and Danielson. They put Mariah May and Toni Storm, where Mariah May won the championship, which was basically we knew was probably what was the end game for it. Hook won the FTW title with help from Daddy Taz. And this match should have been a squash match. You know, they took time away from Darby and Hook, or Darby and Perry. And I know that, yeah, you're not a fan of Perry, but that match seemed so rushed. This match should have been just a squash after all said and done. But Taz did give the Taz mission chokehold to Jericho, rolled him in the ring. Hook wins. But you got our very first prediction of the entire season.
Woohoo!
He did the eye peel patch, or the eye patch peel, and it went, I can see. And I go, Jesus Christ. And I go, they actually did it. Because I made the joke, I was like, he's probably fine. And you're like, what if he does the Moxley thing? And I was like, God damn it, Joe already got it.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks dressed as Sgt. Peppers.
Boo.
Because England. Yeah. Now I don't like the Beatles anymore. And they retained versus the Acclaimed and FTR. But when the match was over, it made it seem like it was a debut. But these guys have already wrestled for their company multiple times now. The grizzled young vets show up and just stand behind the Bucks. Look at them. That's it. Wah, wah, wah.
Great reveal.
Didn't care for it. The Casino Gauntlet match. Let me ask you a question. Can you define the terms gauntlet to me, please?
Gauntlet, you start with two wrestlers. One wins via whatever method they win. Person that loses, leaves, and the next competitor comes in, and you keep doing that till you get to the end.
This was not that. This was like a Royal Rumble, but with a pinfall.
Huh.
So you can't really call it a gauntlet now, can we? But it was the Casino Gauntlet match. Winner gets a world title shot at any time. First, the opening, the person that came out first was Orange Cassidy, but all of a sudden you just see a brick ground. And then you see a light spotlight hit it. And I go, Jesus Christ, someone's doing a Mr. Bean entrance. And then you see the logo for Orange Cassidy. I go, motherfucker. Now you just made me hate Rowan Atkinson.
Now I hate Mr.
Dick.
Bean.
I know, man. All right, I will say, for where it was, I'll give it to you. That's kind of a cool, it was a pretty cool entrance. Crowd seemed to pop for it. I was all right with it, even though it's orange. But out next came Okada. And after that, all right, this one got me where I was like, no shit. Nigel McGuinness. Which I have been calling Nigel to face Bryan Danielson at this thing. So I didn't get to technically call that right. I said he was going to wrestle at All In, but I got who was wrong. But I got to wonder if they're going to tie it up at all before the end of his time. The amount of shit he talks. He talked it on the pre-show. I don't know. Anyway, after that, out comes Kyle O'Reilly, then Zack Sabre Jr., and Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness face off. The crowd lost their mind. And even I was like, because it was the past and the present of the best of British wrestling. It was a cool moment. Actually, Nigel also was face-to-face with Okada, and he did Okada's bend down and put your arms up mode, like the way he used to, but now he just flips you off. But Nigel was on fire. The crowd was loving him in there. After that was Roderick Strong, then
No, not him.
Mark Briscoe came down, swooped in, Hangnail with his mustache, Jeff Jarrett, and then the debut that we knew was going to happen in this pay-per-view somehow, some way, Ricochet, then Christian, and then Turnosaurus. And I ain't lying when I say Turnosaurus, because get this. He's Kill Switch during the patriarchy, right? Christian, once Luchasaurus' music hits, he kind of has a look on his face, and the announcer, Justin Roberts, goes, Luchasaurus! Crowd is going nuts, and I go, and he just turned again. But then he turned to help Christian win the goddamn match by pinfall.
Yeah. They probably fucking forgot that his name's Kill Switch now. How could you even remember?
I got to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of Christian winning this match.
Me neither.
It could have been anybody, especially with the end of your pay-per-view. You could have went to a trilogy now with Zack Sabre Jr. They both had a win over each other. You could have had him face Okada. Again, that would have been another fucking trilogy ender. You could have had him fucking face Nigel McGuinness. But you're like, nope. Christian seems to be the one for us. He has that turtleneck looking so good these days.
Yeah. Reasons.
Fuck. Bothered me. So then we have Will Ospreay's 47-minute intro, and then out comes MJF, and he's got like Apollo Creed dressed up. He's got the big top hat and then the vest. I'm like, he kind of looks like Apollo Creed in Rocky 1. And when he takes everything off, the only thing he's wearing are American shorts, and they are to a T. Lex Luger.
Fuck yeah.
Esque. And I started laughing. Taz goes, oh, he's dressed like Lex Luger. and you hear either Excalibur or Tony Schiavone go, thanks for calling that out. I'm so glad he did it, though. I thought that was great. You remember last year during the Bucks entrance, their streamers got caught and hung for the rest of the fucking night?
Yep.
MJF streamers do the exact same thing. Red, white, and blue is dangling all fucking night after this match was over. So every big crowd shot you see, streamers of red, white, and blue just dangling. I'm like, you didn't learn your lesson last year? No. The answer is no. But the match ends with fucking Daniel Garcia stopping MJF from using, which I haven't seen in quite some time, the white knucks. Like, not brass knucks, but it's the white plastic looking.
Yeah, almost like they're tape.
Knucks.
Almost, just,
Yeah. But he wasn't wearing his tank top like he normally does. He was a masked assassin all the way through, and then he takes his fucking mask off. Hell of a pop. Probably one of the best pops of the night, to be honest with you.
I don't get it.
Well, hang on. You do and you don't. Here's the deal. We're going to get into All Out in a couple of minutes. I think that's probably where we're going to head to. And that's giving him a marquee match with MJF. It's something for him, man. Look, you could go to WWF, but we can't forget that WWF is at least becoming a touch saturated right now. AEW is obviously saturated too, but maybe they're going to prime him in the right position so he doesn't leave, because they know they lost Starks, and they're definitely losing the Lucha Brothers. Maybe he's going to make it worth Daniel Garcia's time. I'm actually trying to be positive.
No, I understand. It's just I don't see Garcia as that type of wrestler. I don't think he belongs in the upper echelon. Again, you've got MJF and Ospreay that should be vying for the world title. Garcia doesn't belong in that picture. Just my opinion, man.
If he does his hip thrust thing anymore, then no. But if he's straight up,
well, he's going to.
No, but if he comes in just straight menace heel wrestling, then, or not heel but whatever, like the anti-authority kind of whatever,
sure,
then maybe we can get on board.
No.
Mercedes Botch Fest actually retained against Britt Baker.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah, I sent you some things, and I'm sure you saw a lot more online. It was bad to watch. So was the match between Saraya and Tony Storm.
That was disappointing, because those two should fucking know fucking better.
But they were doing like stupid fun joking things.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
I will say that I listened to Mark Henry's opinion. I have to go back and watch, I think, but he said it looked like Britt may have been sandbagging a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, now see, I would almost say the opposite, and you gotta put some of the responsibility on Britt. They both fucked this up. This was not a one-party offense. But it to me, it seemed like Monet was sandbagging, because Britt's trying to roll her over, and Monet wasn't really cooperating much. He was just kind of like dead weight, and like, I know dead weight for her is only like 100 pounds, but still, it was like Britt's trying to do something, and Monet wasn't moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was just a shitty match.
It was terrible.
It's funny, if you look at Dave Meltzer's recent ratings for this, there's 3 matches on this card that got 5 stars or more. This one got like 4, but he gave Mariah May and Tony Storm 1 or 2 or some shit. I don't know if that's as real as it is. I saw it.
You might want to double check that, because I feel like I saw something and it said Monet Baker got 2.5. But the thing is, I don't think Meltzer's ratings are coming out for another few days.
Oh, then it was something made its rounds.
Yep.
Monet came out dressed like the Queen of England and actually like carried out. Which I was like, Nia Jax just did it a couple weeks ago or last week, so fuck off. Jack Perry retained against Darby Allin. Darby came out, as you see the logo I have going.
Yeah.
Looking like Hellraiser with thumbtacks glued to his face. They had one minor spot where they used it, but because time was cut short by so much, and Will Ospreay's hour-and-a-half entrance, that they really didn't even do much with this. He just looked like an idiot who was wearing thumbtacks backwards on his head.
Mm-hmm.
But there was CM Punk chants. And there was also fuck CM Punk chants, during Perry's stuff.
Sure.
And then he brings out a bag of broken glass. He didn't say it's real glass, Crimey River. He just closed his eyes, looked his head up, just closed his eyes and put his head back. And I think Taz goes, he does have a history of glass in this stadium. And I was like, I got to be honest with you. Smart. I'll give it to him. I think that's a smart move.
I mean, yeah, at that point, you got nothing else left to do but embrace it, right?
That's what I'm saying. At least fall into it. In that place, of all of the places alone, that's the place to do it.
So did he get choked out backstage by another wrestler after that? You a bitch.
We'll find out. I still love the interview that he does with Ariel, and he goes, and I was like, dude, I'll fucking kill you. The way he says it to Jack Perry, I was like, dude, I'll fucking kill you. But then him and the Bucks try setting Darby Allin on fire after the coffin match, and it's the first coffin match that Darby loses. They start pouring gas on him, and then we hear Sting's music because he can't be retired for more than 8 months, and comes out to save Darby Allin for a cheap pop.
Fresh can of shoe polish, too, on his head.
Oh, yeah. No, it looked really, really, really good. Must be working with Undertaker's guy. So, and then I think you called it that Danielson was going to win. I think we both probably called it that Danielson.
I didn't. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, he ends up winning against Swerve. The match was really good. I'm not going to lie. Had a really, really good big fight feel. I put this up with Cody and Roman, to be honest with you, this year, where the crowd was into it. The entrances were everything. One of my favorite parts, two of them, was Swerve had both Danielson's wrists while he was laying on the ground on his back. He had both of his wrists holding him like he was about to stomp his head. And then he just looks over at Bree and the kids, keeps holding Danielson's wrists and lays on the ground, rolls himself out of the ring, and then rolls Danielson, drags him all the way over in front of the family, and kicks his fucking head in front of the family while Danielson is already bleeding. And I go, that was awesome. That's heat. Because, he's the home invader. He went hard on Hangman, and then you got this. I thought that was a sick moment.
I thought Swerve was a face.
Yeah, I think he was never actually made a face. I think everybody just cheered him when he won the title, but he never said, I'm a face.
Well, they typically don't say that.
Well, I got it. And now I am a face. So, one of my favorite parts, though, in the match is that Swerve is doing everything. There's a lot of moments where you're like, I think he has the match. Danielson goes to give him the running knee and somewhat falls short purposely so that he hits him only really in the chest, kind of like he only had so much. And he hits him, though, but Swerve just backs into the rope and stands up and just brushes his chest. And the crowd was like, oh, fuck, he's going down. His retirement day is right now. Does the Swerve stomp, kicks out. But then he starts doing the yes kicks to Danielson's chest. And Danielson keeps looking over at Bree and the kids. Oh, by the way, the daughter started crying at one point. Daddy was a little busted up. But then as he's taking the kicks, Danielson turns his body, takes the kicks, and each one, I love you. I love you. And then stands up and goes, I love you so much, and takes each kick while looking at the family and says it a couple more times and then just stares at Swerve, and the crowd was like, oh, you fucked up. It was a good cinematic moment how they did it. I liked it. Makes the comeback, but then just as it's an even setup, some asshole jumps the fence or the barricade, and you're thinking it's just like a fan or something. Nope. It's Hangnail Mustache, and for some reason he feels like he's got to get involved in this match, but 50 security guards take him right the fuck out quick, but it's enough to distract Swerve for a second. But that's not exactly how the match ended. But Danielson does get the upper hand and wins the match, but makes Swerve tap for the first time being in AEW. It's a good match. I liked it. Best part, and they didn't show it on TV because they were kind of showing the ending of they were just showing the crowd and they had to take off real quick. Because when I tell you that this thing was exactly 4 hours long to a T, it's exactly what the runtime is. Danielson's kid, Buddy, was like just jumping around the ring, playing with the confetti and shit. And then he goes, come here, come here. And he puts his kid's head between his legs like he's about to powerbomb him and looks over and Bree goes, no, 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 like joking around. I go, he is going to be the next Benoit.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. There's only one thing, and listen, I'd like to go back and watch some of these matches at least. I mean, at least that title match, it sounds good.
The main event, I think you have to.
Yeah, and I'll definitely check that out. But there's one thing that I want to know, and you've watched the match, so maybe you could speak on it. I'm seeing a lot, and we'll get to it when we go to the table, but I'm seeing a ton of people comparing this title win for Danielson to his win at WrestleMania 30. Seems a bit of a stretch to me.
Other than it just being a big world title win.
Exactly. At a big pay-per-view. That's really the only
It was a big title win, and that's it. He says that he puts it up as one of his favorite moments all time because both of his kids were actually able to witness him do what he did.
That's fine.
So that's okay for him. But for everybody to say that this... Because you ask me, what's better? Danielson or Daniel Bryan winning at 30 or Kofi winning at WrestleMania 35? To me, I thought Kofi was bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Danielson was almost just like expected at that point because we were all pissed off and he got shoehorned in.
Right. No, definitely. I mean, here's my thing. The way I'm looking at this is I feel like this is just a way to say, hey, Bryan Danielson was a champion here. He was a world champion in AEW.
Yep.
That's really all it is.
Yeah, he did it with tag titles. Hulk Hogan remains racist as fuck by threatening to body slam Kamala Harris. Is she a chameleon? Is she Indian? And then says, that was the beers talking. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Brian on Family Guy when he starts barking at Puff Daddy. He goes, I'm sorry, I come from a different time.
That's terrible.
We got new territory happening. I really feel like this is. Scott D'Amore has said that he's making the Maple Leaf Pro, and the first big name that has been signed commentary-wise was Mauro Ranallo. Big win. Big win. And on October 19th and 20th, it's a 2-night event. It's called Forged in Excellence. I'm excited for this, man. This is great.
I'm going to temper expectations until I start seeing the wrestlers that are going to be involved. But just to hear Mamma Mia again will be great.
Well, just to be honest, I mean, it's just more room for other guys to go to because right now we're like, well, you're either going to AEW, TNA, or WWE. We used to have hundreds of territories. Now we got 3. So I like this. You can't go to Ring of Honor because that's in AEW.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Ricochet, someone wrote online, I can't wait to see you in Ring of Honor in a month. And he goes, I love Ring of Honor. This dude's a bitch. He's responding to everybody on Twitter.
It's terrible. He fits right in AEW.
Did you see the one where someone goes, oh, I can't wait to see some of his highlights in AEW? And he goes, why can't you just watch the thing? Even if you don't like watching the product, you could watch just the one match. But how do you watch one match without getting to that, without watching the fucking product?
Right. You can't just, you just keep guessing?
Right. He's a bitch
He a
on Twitter.
bitch.
He a
Sorry,
bitch.
Weezy. I know you like him, but he showed his true colors. He a bitch.
And another one who a bitch, he got disorderly public intoxication and now sent to rehab and suspended from TNA. Rich Swann. Dude had potential for a little bit, but this is like his second offense.
Yeah.
So he'll be gone for a little bit. Speaking of a piece of shit, JBL showed up at GCW's homecoming this past weekend and gave a couple of clothesline from Hells to Effie. Has like a, what's the kids from Columbine? He has like the Columbine jacket he's wearing with a
yes,
like
the
big
long trench
duster.
coat. Yeah,
The duster.
Yes. A duster, yes.
It's just a different version of him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
He actually looks like when Bret Hart was on the Lonesome Dove, wearing the hat. That's exactly what it
That
looks
whole
like.
3 episodes.
Both of them. Yep. Something to keep your eye on. House of Glory, September 5th. Zilla Fat 2 is defending his Crown Jewel Championship against Mustafa Ali. If he drops that title, that is excellent timing heading in towards Survivor Series time.
Absolutely.
And I got to wonder where things go. And we're going to get to SmackDown in just a couple of minutes. I kind of got to wonder where things are going with that recently. But, hey, Bills, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for not putting Gabe Steveson on the 52-man roster. Good job. They gave him the waiver, the old wave goodbye. That's it. That's all I have to say about
Adios.
that. Yeah. So, with TK's quick sniffs of the week. As of this recording, we are 4 days away from AEW All Out, and we have 2 official matches.
Sounds about right.
You ready to hear which of these bangers are?
Yeah, sure.
Will Ospreay versus Pac, which I'm fine with.
Hey, all right.
And Willow Bertha Faye versus Chris Statlander, which we just saw in the pre-show with 2 guys involved.
Outstanding.
Can't wait. Also, he's claiming that everything is way better backstage at Collision than it was last year. He said this during the scrum, basically hinting at CM Punk. And he goes, things are gelling way better between the shows now. Yeah, because you're doing the same shit that you're doing on Dynamite and Rampage, you're doing on Collision. Everything that everybody loved about Collision, you shit on Collision. No one watches your show anymore.
Yeah. Do you see Ospreay mark out when he saw Meltzer on the scrum?
Oh, my God.
That's
Yo,
pretty terrible.
I'm going to say it. Kevin Nash said it best. The marks used to be in the seats. Now the marks are in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Major cringe moment with him and Martha Hart during the pre-show. Oh, my God. I sent it to you, and I go, bro, please skip to 1 hour, blah, 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 and whatever. And, oh, my God, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. It's all in. I just did a line. Like, that's how he really sounds. He's all jacked up for, like, both 17 fans that made it into the building that early. And then Martha Hart starts speaking. Yo, she got booed because she thought in England she could put over 2 other countries before saying anything about London, England. She goes, and being that I'm from the great country of Canada, and we've partnered with the great state of, or the great country of the United States. Bitch! Yo, they were like, what the fuck, man? She's ruining everything of whatever Owen's career was, man. Just let him go into the fucking WWE Hall of Fame and put his name there. Vince is gone. You don't have to blame him. You want to blame Hunter. Hunter didn't rig the goddamn thing. Right. Yeah, he's a part of the screw job, but Brett didn't want to do business. Anyway, the whole thing was really fucking cringe. And then she's like, oh God, and I hope that, but the challengers tonight are ready for a fight tonight.
I'll make that up.
And if we ain't got no roads, we ain't got no toes. It was a good one. Thank you. It took me a second. As soon as you said it, I'm like, who was it? Also, TK has said that Forbidden Door is what's going to be in London next year in August 2025, but we're doing All In July in Texas, whatever. Well, yeah, because usually July is your Forbidden Door, June or July, whatever. But he also confirms that he has an Australia Stadium show. Yo, stupid money to spend. When you're just like, I'm just going to choose all these major stadiums across the country and do way less than anybody else really should if they're a wrestling company.
Yep.
Jesus. I feel like if TNA and WWE, or if just TNA and NXT put together a show in Wembley, it would probably sell more than All In did. Just
Probably.
personally. Yeah, for Dynamite tonight, they need to announce like 6 matches to make at least an 8-man card for this weekend. And he's probably going to be like, join us on Collision this weekend so you find out every match that's going to happen.
Booking.
Remember last year we found out Danielson and the Starks were fighting each other just 4 days before the pay-per-view because they didn't know what to do because he had to fire CM Punk.
Yep.
So on Raw and SmackDown and NXT, mainly just Raw and SmackDown, I watched SmackDown on the plane on the way getting out to New York, and it was really funny when Austin Theory and Grayson Waller were showing Cody the history of KO turning on people, and they go first Sami Zayn, and then you see him turning on Kofi Kingston, the New Day, and then it says Sammy again. Which made me laugh that it said Sammy again, but they actually show him with the list of Jericho. Wait, why is my name on this list? Yo, they don't give a fuck about Jericho that much. They're like, let someone Google where Jericho is and find out that he's on AEW, and maybe that one person will watch. We don't give a fuck. Yep, that's Jericho. He used to work here.
Exactly.
I loved it. But it was great because at the end, KO looked like he was going to hit Cody with the title from behind, and then he goes up kind of fast enough, and as Cody turns, he just hands it to him. He goes, here, man, and just walks over to the rope. But the funniest thing is, the camera zoomed in enough, and Cody's like looking over at them, and he goes, yeah, they don't have adrenaline in their soul. That's what Kevin said to Cody, and I laughed so fucking hard. Like, just good for you. I love Kevin Owens.
Something, Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. So Jacob Fatu had to give over his tag title to Tonga Loa, and now he's a special enforcer of the Bloodline. Makes me wonder if he quits, joins Roman and the Usos, and then we maybe get Zillow or Hikuleo or Rock. I don't know. It's just weird that he took the title off of him.
It is.
Probably mainly because of his foot, too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it could be that. It could have been the eye patch thing now that they got rid of that. Maybe they gave Tonga a little more training. Maybe they're a little more confident now in his in-ring work. We'll see what happens with that. I think it makes sense because you really don't want anything holding down Jacob Fatu right now. That's why they're keeping him off screen away from Roman. They don't want to do that yet. And why have him bogged down by the tag titles? You know, he just should be the one to come in and wreck shit when it's time to wreck shit. You know what I mean?
It's funny because you sent me something. I tried sending you, but my internet was really shitty. But it was a car that looked like it was going to go through a tunnel, and it misses it completely and goes up on the hill. And it says, when she says, put it in me, but you're Tonga Loa.
It was fucking great.
Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman get into a fight. They go backstage, and he tsunamis him through, which, by the way, every time you hear tsunami, I also watched the movie Dirty Grandpa on the plane.
Oh.
You ever seen that with Robert De Niro?
I'm familiar with it. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Aubrey Plaza just wants to fuck an old guy. And she goes, yeah, you're going to tsunami on my face. So it's really funny when you're like, oh, he just gave a tsunami to Seth Rollins. I'm like,
ew.
Right. But he tsunamis on Braun Strowman through the hood of a car, and then 1 second later, there's just like a random explosion in the roof.
A short.
Was it the light giving out?
It looked like the short, a short on the dome lights. I think they probably did that shit on purpose.
Oh, they did.
It
was still more of an explosion than the death match between Moxley and Omega.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But it was a cool-ass spot. I mean, it was one of those things you saw him. The best part was when Strowman chokeslammed him on the hood of the car or threw him across it. But Bronson didn't stick on the hood of the car. He went flying over it. It was like the Dukes of Hazzard. He was like, what the fuck? Oh, shit.
It was great. It was a good moment. I actually liked it.
Yeah.
CM Punk actually live tweeted himself from under the ring before jumping Drew McIntyre. He has got the better of Drew now with the strap multiple times. I think Drew's going 2-0 over Punk.
I agree. I thought the same exact thing. It's the go-home show, and Punk's getting the better of him. So that to me, that says that Drew's going to win the match.
Yeah, and if you do, then you're just making Drew look like a bitch by having him get his ass beat so much by Punk. Yes, you want him to tie it up 1-1. It seems like it's logical, but why does that have to happen?
Yeah.
Why do we always have to have the face conquer every time? That's why Bronson Reed, I said, has to. I don't care. Whenever Seth Rollins comes back, he beats him. Whoever is put in front of him, he beats.
Right.
And Uncle Howdy had his first match on Raw in like 4 fucking years, and he defeated Chad Gable. So this weekend, as I said, we got AEW All Out. That's on September 1st, but the day before is Bash in Berlin on the 31st. So we got world title. Gunther will be defeating Randy Orton. I assume that's main event, right? I mean, it's in Berlin.
Yeah, unless they're planning something big with Cody Owens. Because you can have Owens turn on Cody, and it still doesn't have to be the main event.
I feel like that should be the opener.
Really? I was going to say Liv and Dom versus Ripley and Priest should be first just to get the crowd hot. And
the crowd would really... Actually, wait. You know what? You're right. It's going to end up going like this. Liv and Dom versus Rhea and Priest. Then they're going to probably maybe do the WWE Championship match. Calm everybody the fuck down with a meaningless women's tag title match between Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair versus the Unholy Union. Then the strap match, then Gunther Orton.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Or something to the degree. Okay, let's run down the list. Cody's going to retain. Yeah. No way that Owens wins.
Sure.
Gunther's going to retain.
Yes.
I think Liv and Dom take the win. Cheating or not, with Judgment Day.
No, I think it's Ripley and Priest. It's a B show. You want the crowd to pop. You want Ripley to get her hands on Dominic finally. And Liv can take this loss and still progress the feud. It's a mixed tag match. Doesn't matter.
Okay, you're right, because, it doesn't hurt the champion. And she kind of gets a little bit of revenge. Okay, I'll give you it. I still think that the heels are going to win it.
All right.
I actually don't give a fuck who wins the women's tag title match. It's probably going to be Cargill and Belair.
Well, here's my thing. I think if Cargill and Bianca win, then I think it's a sign that Cargill is improving. If they don't, it might be the last we see of Jade Cargill. Or
what if?
What if?
Unholy Union pull off the win. Cargill goes full heel and turns on Belair.
Could be. That's certainly a possibility. Do you think
they could work a good program?
They could, if Cargill can work a good program.
But I'm saying they've been working with each other enough recently. There's no way that they're just like, well, I'll just see you out there at the ring. They probably got some shit moving together, so I think it could be a possibility.
And that's a good point, because I'm guessing they've been training together a lot. They definitely have been together a lot, so they probably know each other well. Bianca can lead the match. Yeah, that actually makes sense. So that could actually be her final attempt at redeeming herself.
And you can work the house show circuit with them, no problem.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, they don't do a whole lot of them, but still, it's enough.
So does Owens turn, and we have 2 heel turns on the same show?
I don't think Owens turns heel. I bet you Bloodline somehow just gets involved, and Cody still retains because Solo wants Cody. That's what I think happens, and I think that they're going to face each other at Bad Blood.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, we're probably going to get the third match between Punk and Drew, which will probably be a Hell in a Cell, which I'm not really looking forward to, but is what it is. But we both said Drew's going to end up winning that match, too. All we got for Sunday night, man, is the International Championship, Ospreay and Pac. Hey, last year you ended the fucking pay-per-view with the International Championship between Moxley. And Ospreay.
Yep.
Or Moxley and Orange. You do that this year, this could be a good ending match. You'll probably do something really stupid like make, I don't know, Willow Bertha Faye versus Chris Statlander for the women's CMLL title. Not even a fucking championship for your own company.
Too many titles.
Who's Danielson going to face? Are you going to have him face Christian? That's the most meh sounding pay-per-view so far. Beyond that, MJF and Daniel Garcia, probably, and they could probably put on a decent match and a good show, but again, not making me buy this show.
No.
And we're going to possibly or probably get Swerve versus Hangnail Mustache number 4. So, imagine, 2 years ago, Punk wins the championship. We watched that, right? The big projector.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we were like, wow, Punk's not even on this show in Chicago. Hopefully they hijack it, but nothing is appealing to me. You got 2 matches announced this year, and we are 4 fucking days away, and I wouldn't even think of putting money into this.
Yep.
What is he doing over there?
Snorting coke, spending his dad's money.
Ah, there it is. Last week I should have kept my mouth shut. Buster messaged me. Buster messages me and he goes, "So did you really want to be a part of this league?" And I go, "Oh God, no. Yeah, I can barely keep up with who's even on the Bills team." And he said, "Well, that's why I didn't ask you." I said, "Touche." So that's what he brought to the table. But now let's bring our shit to the table.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
Have you ever scheduled a Lyft or Uber ride? Not just ordered, but scheduled.
Like, I need this 4 hours from now kind of
Correct.
schedule?
Or, yeah.
No, it's usually on demand. It's like I need a ride now.
But you can if you want.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So where I'm at, I'm in a population of 12 in California. It's like no one fucking here. So I had to, in advance, schedule a Lyft ride to get to the airport because my wife works 45 minutes from here. So I can get to the airport 2 hours from here.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go to New York, do the celebration of life, get my ass back.
Right.
Someone accepts it. A chick named Jessica. Even screenshot her face. Let me tell you, when I see these fucking chiclets, the teeth there were summer teeth. Some are here, some are there, some are missing. And it was scheduled. Everything was good days in advance. Morning of 5 a.m., your ride will be arriving at 6:30. 5:30 hits. Looking for nearby drivers. Bitch canceled on me. But the funny thing is, I only screenshotted her face and it said Jessica. It's not like I got any more information of that. I couldn't do any more. Went back looking, couldn't do anything to find this little fucking cunt. And I was fucked. And I'm like, how am I going to get to the airport in time? I call my wife and I'm like, I don't know what to do. She was at work for like 8 minutes at this point. She had to drive 45 minutes home. Take me on a 2-hour ride to Sacramento to get to the airport. I was like, if there's even one person in front of me in TSA, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? Like, that's how bad this is going to be. Luckily, TSA was extremely quick.
Nice.
And I'm like, yo, you didn't even notice all the fucking guns and shit. That's awesome. So, got through no problem, man. That was fine. Ended up making it, getting in town. It's hot as fuck Saturday. Had to deal with a party. Had to deal with my dickhead brother. And then flew home, man, that quick. And that was a much, better ride. Wife picked me up. She was like, here you go. Here's a chicken nugget while you just relax in the passenger seat. Here we go. We're fine. But if I ever see Jessica with the most crooked, bluish, beat-up fucking teeth, if I ever see her anywhere around this population of 12, I'm going to fucking headbutt you, you twat.
Twat!
What you got?
Well, I was just scrolling through Facebook as usually do doom scrolling, I believe they call, where you're just scrolling and you're not really paying attention to anything. And then I noticed a post.
I call it taking a deuce.
Oh, there's that too. And then I saw another post and I'm like, what a dumbass. And then I saw another, I'm like, what a dumbass. I'm like, so I must be getting all these suggestions and they're wrestling based. And it's a page and it's All Elite Marks is the name of the page.
Oh.
And here's the thing. The marks are so marky that you can't tell if they're trolling or if they're really marks. It is because... Do you think
it's purposeful AEW marks as in like they... or all elite marks as in like they're just mocking everything?
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's just trolls or real AEW marks or a mix of both. Because there's some shit... There was one post where somebody was talking about Excalibur's one of the greatest announcers of all time. Like either that's a troll, it's got to be a troll, or one of the most idiotic people on the face of the earth. Another one was the one that I sent you the screenshot of. It was Aubrey Edwards is the best female ref ever. And the first comment I saw was, all she does is horse around.
I'm not a wrestler. All she does is horse around. Oh, that was a good one.
A ref is a ref, of course, of course. It doesn't make sense, but... That was a good one.
I'm broken. Let's go to the wars. Monday Night Wars!
Double people's elbow! The Rock's up the cover! Can he? Yes! You smell it. We've got the tag champions!
And the new World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, Mankind and The Rock!
Mankind and The Rock are the new tag team champions!
You fucked yourself up, didn't you? Well, it's the wars, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's Monday Night Raw. It's Monday Night Nitro. August 30th, 1999. Look at, I let you said, hey, I feel like I'm going to take the reins. I'm going to open us up this segment. Good job.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, ODM.
It's hard when you got all those chicken nuggets in your belly. Raw's
Corey
in
Feldman.
Boston. Yeah. Rock comes to the ring. He references SmackDown as The Rock's show. Good to know that started right from the get-go. It says he should have been champ. HBK turned on him and aligned with Triple H. So the original DX is back together again. He cuts a promo on Shawn Michaels and Triple H and tells Triple H he has 5 seconds. And I mean, to come out here, I'm going to go find you. Triple H doesn't come out. Rock goes to the back. He gets jumped by Triple H, Chyna, and Shane. Mankind makes the save. We cut to commentary. JR is back. His arm is in a cast, so at least they're selling it. Shane and Mean Street Posse come to the ring and says Rock and Mankind are both going to get a shot at Triple H for the title tonight, but they have to beat their respective opponents. It's The Rock versus Undertaker. No holds barred, falls count anywhere, no DQ. Mankind has to have a handicap match against all 3 members of Mean Street Posse, and that starts now. Mean Street Posse still wearing the neck braces, the walking boot, all that shit. Teddy Long comes to the ring with Mankind, but Shane tells him to go to the back. Shane's going to be the ref tonight and tells Mankind, if you touch me, I'm going to DQ you. Shane has his back turned the entire time. Mean Street Posse's using weapons. Mankind ends up getting the advantage. Shane doesn't count, though. So Shane eats Sacco. Triple H makes the save. Mankind takes him out. Shane calls for the bell. And you get this weird thing where Lillian Garcia announces Mankind as the winner via DQ, and then Shane has to tell her, no, Mean Street Posse won. Sound about right?
Mm-hmm.
No?
That's 100% right.
All right. Michael Cole is with Undertaker and Big Show talking about the match against The Rock tonight. And Taker says he's going to jam a soup bone down The Rock's throat. Sure.
I'm going to threaten that to someone sometime. You want to take us outside, buddy? You want me to fucking put a soup bone down your throat?
Only on
Ew.
Saturday night. We get a SmackDown ad. Then we get Taker versus The Rock. And he starts. Undertaker starts cutting a promo pre-match before The Rock comes out and says, Big Show's going to do this match for me. Tells Big Show not to give him any lip. Taker joins commentary. Rock is wrestling in his khakis and dress shoes. Don't know why.
Classy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love it. Rock goes to commentary, starts talking shit to Undertaker, clocks him. Taker returns the favor. Big Show choke slams Rock through the announce table, gets the pin. Again, Garcia, I don't know if this is her fault or not, but she announced Undertaker as the winner. That's some WCW shit right there.
It's her second or third week.
Yep.
Just name the first guy you see.
Yeah, pretty much. Triple H
Jerry
comes
Lawler is the winner.
up. Give it time. You never know, man. Yeah. So Triple H comes out. Taker grabs him by the throat. Then Mankind comes out because Attitude Era. Cole's with Al Snow. Says, Boss Man's going to be here tonight. It's the most subdued we've ever seen Al Snow. He's like really chewed up about Pepper. He has missing posters. For Snow, I wrote. I don't know why I wrote Snow and not Pepper. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Maybe TK was on the mind. And then they're in front of that Monday Night Raw backdrop with the cages, with the fencing on the side. You just randomly start hearing moaning from behind the backdrop. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? So Boss Man comes to the ring, calls Al Snow out, apologizes for what happened on SmackDown. Says he saw Al Snow crying on heat. And he said, you know what? I had a dog when I was a kid. Ran away, got run over by a car. Actually, what he said was, got ran over by a dog. I had a dog, got ran over by a dog. I mean car.
Well, he was a Chihuahua, and it was like a Great Dane.
Hey, he's a pro. You got to give him some slack there. And he says, you know what, Al? Come to my hotel room next Thursday, and I'll give you Pepper back. I did not realize that the culmination of it. I didn't realize this happened on SmackDown. That segment.
Oh, yeah. Also, come to my hotel room, I'll give you Pepper back. You can do the same thing, lure him in with candy in a van, dude. Jesus Christ.
Pretty much.
Sounds creepy.
But for Al Snow, it makes sense. He'd be the guy that would do that. And they shake hands without incident. Jericho had his in-ring debut on SmackDown. He beat Road Dogg and apparently in the process gave him a crushed disc. Next you get X-Pac versus Taka Michinoku. Taka says, I have Boston. I got 2 words for you. Suck on it.
Such a shame that can't be the title of the show. 2 words. Suck on it.
That's awesome. So you referenced earlier a 4 corners elimination tag match for contendership for the tag titles.
I referenced this off air to you.
Yes. Kayfabe, pal. We see the teams not in this match causing a scene backstage. So Midian and Viscera join the match, then Draws and Albert, then Richards and Meanie, because Attitude Era, no contest. Because the match was actually Edge and Christian versus Hardys versus Acolytes versus the Hollies. And then those 3 other teams just came out, and it was a no contest.
I actually had to look it up. The bell rang at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's how quick this was.
Yeah.
So Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Let's see. Rock comes to the ring. Promo on Show and Taker. Says he wants a handicap match in the main event. And he says, Big Show, I want you to bend over, and I want to admire Undertaker's Mickey Mouse tattoos. Crowd pop for that one. He tells Taker to stick his head up Show's ass. Then Mankind comes out, and he says, you don't have to do this alone. The people want Mankind as The Rock's partner. Want Taker and Show to put the tag titles on the line tonight. Wants to be the people's partner. And he does that for the millions and dozens of Mankind's fans. Does all a Rock shtick. And Rock tells Mankind, don't ever steal my phrases again. JR goes, he just borrowed them.
It's going to give him back.
And they do the shtick. Next you get Meet with Terry versus GTV. Terry stops on the ramp to admire The Rock. Rock asks, you want to go one-on-one with the Great One? Why don't you go down to the SmackDown Hotel, put on a little negligee? You like strawberries? Yeah. Whipped cream? Yeah. Champagne? Huh? Yeah. With bubbles? Well, bubble your ass on out of here. Oh, it was so great.
It's funny because I just saw a video just popped up on a reel just recently, and it was and it's not till 2002 or 3, and he's backstage with I think an announcer, maybe Lillian Garcia, someone interviewing him or something like that. And he's talking to him, and he keeps shaking his leg. And he's like, "Whoa, daddy, hang on, baby!" Slap him where a dick would be. He's like, "Hang on, buddy." He's like, "You see him? You see he's getting excited, huh?" I'm like, dude, he was so fucking good, man.
He's the man.
Honestly, everything we saw with fuck Cody, fuck Mama Rose, everything he was doing, I need Rock on Netflix when this shit starts, because an uncensored Rock could be pretty good.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Even though he's a fucking mark for himself, but, you know.
I mean, but who isn't?
Yeah, that's true.
Who's going to be like, hey, I got to be honest with you, I suck and I'm the biggest piece of shit in the world.
Yeah, but he takes it to a different level. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. What we're seeing now is fucking gold, Jerry. Gold. So anyway, Meat and Terry end up in the ring, and then up on the Tron, we get a black and white video, and it was of two people making out behind the backdrop where we heard the moaning earlier. And it turns out it's Meat with Mariana. Those of you who have forgotten, it is Chaz's girlfriend. So Terry just starts slapping Meat because she's pissed off. Oh, phrasing, sorry.
It's another thing we can't use. Terry starts slapping Meat.
Chaz comes out. Mariana comes out. They brawl. JR says the fur is flying here on Raw.
Wasn't Mariana also Mrs. Cleavage?
Yes.
So this is all sorts of weird. Meat, cleavage.
Because Attitude Era.
Attitude Era. Jesus Christ.
Deborah's having her makeup done in the back, and Miss Kitty takes over. Puppies and kitties. So you get Jarrett with Deborah and Miss Kitty and Mark Henry versus D'Lo and Mr. Ass. Chyna joins commentary. Everybody wants a shot at the IC title. Chyna grabs the guitar, goes to hit Jeff Jarrett in the head. He ducks. Ass gets a heed shot. Jarrett gets the pin, and we get a nice cheeky shot of Deborah getting up on the apron. That was worth mentioning.
You cheeky bastard.
Yeah. Michael Cole's in the back with Tess. They're engaged now, apparently. I'm guessing it happened on SmackDown. Tess calls in the Stooges, wants to know who has the best memory. Says the guy with the best memories gets to hold the ring. But you're both the best man. And then Pat starts crying, probably because he misunderstood the ring comment. He was probably thinking ring boy.
Boy, I'd like someone to hold this ring. I'll do it.
Next you get Shamrock versus Gangrel with the Hardys. Lawler asks JR if he can whisper in some girl's ear, and he goes, "I better not, my wife's watching." Because his mom's dead, you know. So.
Oh my God. All right.
Shamrock wins via submission. Fink comes out, points to the Tron, and runs to the back. It's the Y2J video. And Jericho says, maybe on Thursday I'll give you an opportunity. We get a recap of Tori versus Ivory. Ivory retained on SmackDown. Ivory comes to the ring. JR announces that on SmackDown, Chyna's going to face Jeff Jarrett for the IC title. Kind of comes out of nowhere. Cole's in the ring with Ivory, cuts him off as expected. And Ivory tells Michael Cole, just because you saw me half naked last week doesn't give you the right to put me into your sleazy little fantasies, you pervert.
Hey, what I do at home, what I do in the comfort of my neighbor's home watching his television because I can't afford. Sorry.
She says, Tori is a big-time slut. Slut.
They must have just been allowed to use the word.
Tori runs into the ring, and in the process of going after Ivory, Michael Cole gets caught up in a catfight on the mat. I judge wisely, as if nothing ever surprised me, lounging between two pillows, Ivory.
What?
Exactly. Luna runs in, then Jackie runs in because Attitude Era. And we come back from the break, and JR says, "The first still flying on Raw."
I got to be honest, I think the stroke went a little too hard this time. What?
The fur is still flying.
Oh.
So we got our main event. It's Mankind and The Rock versus Taker and Show for the tag titles. Mankind and Rock pulling fucking pretty much triple duty between promos and wrestling. Lawler and Jim Ross spend, I'd say, a good minute talking about Mankind's mom. Not even a joke. Didn't write anything down.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Show slams Mankind on the remains of the announce desk from earlier in the night. Bear comes to the ring, shows Taker something, and Taker and Bear head to the back, so now it's 2-on-1. Show does one of my favorite spots where Mankind's coming in with the chair, and Big Show just punches it right in his face. I love that fucking spot. We get a ref bump. Rock hits a chair shot to Big Show's heat. Mankind and Rock do the people's elbow together. Rock gets the pin. And a big fucking pop. The one thing that ruined this for me was the fact that after the pop and after the celebration, it's like 5 seconds after the pin, Show just got up and left. He just no-sold it. He went from the Big Show taking a 3 count to just, I'm out of here.
All right, I'm good. 5 seconds is
It's
up.
just, you know what I mean? It's, come on, bro, just lay there for, I don't know, man.
Well, it's
a,
probably because they just turned him heel, and now he found out Taker just left him. He's like, fuck, I got to turn face again.
Yeah.
It's my 4th time this year. I just debuted in February.
He loves those big, meaty turns. And JR signs off saying,
Phrasing.
What a night on Raw.
all right,
Yeah,
well,
a lot of barbecue sauce.
let's-
All right, here we go.
I like barbecue sauce. For Nitro, before I even hit play on the cock, I saw the thumbnail. And all I said to myself was, sweet baby Jesus.
I don't know what your thumbnail was because I don't have the same. So
Well, you'll find out. Opens right to a match, kind of like what you said All In was, which is kind of creepy that it happened the same way 25 years ago on Nitro, because it just goes right
I'm
into
okay.
a match.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's kind of creepy.
Tony's like,
I'm
well,
not a
what happened in
conspiracy
Nitro this
theorist.
week?
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying it's kind of weird.
Tell me, was it a 12-man ladder match in any form where tag teams were formed one way to the other, or even a multi-man match?
You know, it was just a straight-up tag team. It was the Ham and Egger team of Disorderly Conduct, Mean Mike and Tough Tom, versus Dave Taylor and Steven Regal. Naturally, Sid comes in. He has Charles Robinson holding the cue cards with the count. Power bombs both of the Ham and Eggers. Pins them both. So he goes from 73-0 to 75-0. And then we get another Sid promo. And they turn the lights down when he cuts the promo. I like that. And as much as we clown him, I wrote this before I found out Sid passed. I'm like, I really love Sid. You know, what he's doing
Gave
here.
a really good power bone.
Listen, man. The fact that I'm getting most of this out without an issue is an accomplishment in itself. So I said, let's just ride that gravy train while we can. But yeah, it was that level of bad. It's the angle. The crowd's drowning him out at one point. He hits another power bomb. Little Nate is apparently his lackey now. Okay. And then another power bomb. We see Lodi and Lenny Shone arriving to the arena. Some weird shit. They wouldn't let him in. There were fans there. I don't know. Then we get a recap. Then we get the splash intro at 10 minutes in. Then we get a smattering. Then we get the intro pyro. And then we get Mean Gene in the ring with Lex Luger. Gene says Luger has information that Hogan's no good, that the red and yellow's a sham. Luger says evidence is coming to the arena now. Luger's getting booed. And AKA don't change the channel. Berlin arrives to the arena in a Mercedes. Nice looking Mercedes. Shivani calls it a limo.
He's never really seen one.
And, yeah. And then he says, it's not just a limo, it's a Mercedes. Well, you got half of it right that time. I mean, that's better than nothing. And they say he is with his interpreter, Uta Ludendorff, because Berlin refuses to speak in English. Next, you get Lash LaRue versus Scotty Riggs. I'm guessing Sid's coming out at this point. I see a couple signs here. Goldberg? Getting Oldberg.
Nice.
Good and terrible. Next sign was Rusty Trombone. Oh, shit. Even Shivani was surprised because it wasn't Sid. It was Vampiro and ICP. Vampiro gets in the ring, tells Riggs he owes him. Riggs gets the pin. Vampiro sits on the top buckle the whole time. And Riggs just keeps shoving Vampiro away, and Vampiro and ICP just bounce. You owe me. Revolution to an in-ring promo. Shane Douglas calls himself the Franchise. I thought there was another guy in WCW they called the Franchise. I getting that mixed up, or just me?
Is he even known as the franchise in there?
Who?
Shane?
No, I thought isn't that one of the things they called Sting?
No, the Icon.
I thought they called him franchise before. We've been doing this too long. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, Saturn calls out Rick Steiner. Benoit gives an open challenge for the U.S. title. Malenko says, out with the evolution, in with the revolution. Hooray. Next, Kaz Hayashi versus Lodi with Lenny. There's a botch early in the match. Lane gets involved. Kaz ends up pinning Lenny, even though he was facing Lodi. He gets the pin and he gets the win. And he gets jumped post-match. Okay. Gene's in the ring with Hogan. At the beginning of this, as the promo starts, you just hear a piano start randomly playing for a little bit. And it just stops. No one acknowledges it. It just happens. He says Hogan says he's not gonna stab Sting in the back. He's gonna go wait in the back. He's gonna be eating fruit and being cool. That's an actual line that fucking Hulk Hogan said. I'm gonna be in the back eating fruit and being cool.
I think I now understand why when Nash was like, yo, it was hard to really make those black and white vignettes in the back because, he wasn't really getting it. I get it now. He's like, what do you guys think? We eat bananas and be like, hey, don't do drugs.
That would have been a sight to see. I'll tell you that much. Hogan's facing Sting at Fall Brawl for the world title. Come back from break, Shivani and Heenan are hawking VHS tapes, and then the piano starts playing, then stops. And Shivani's like, oh yeah, it's the piano we heard earlier. Not what the fuck is that?
No, I've just got an organist now. It's cool.
Next, you get La Parka and Blitzkrieg versus Rey Mysterio Jr. and Eddie Guerrero. La Parka's in his suit is red and black instead of black and white. I thought it looked kind of dope. Yeah. Vampiro and ICP watch from the top of the ramp. Eddie gets the pin. We get a Berlin vignette, even though we just saw him arrive in a fucking limo. Why are we seeing the vignette we've been seeing for the last 4 weeks? And then
giving you one more heads up.
Because he's going into the ring with his entourage with Mean Gene. He has private security pat down Mean Gene before he gets in the ring. And even Heenan was running him down. He's like, yeah, I would fucking frisk him too. This whole segment, the camera has this weird 1980s fuzz to it. It's like they made it look like from the Berlin Wall days. It was just weird. The whole promo is translated by Uta. I kept waiting for James Bond to show up. I was kind of disappointed. But, and he's chosen the first man. He's going to destroy Buff Bagwell. And the interpreter, the best part is the interpreter interpreted Buff Bagwell. He goes, she's translating everything, and then he goes, Buff Bagwell. And she goes, Buff Bagwell! I don't know. That one killed me. Anyway. Bagwell represents Americans. They're selfish, they're self-centered. And Gene says he knows Berlin can speak English. Why don't you? Well, English disgusts him, so he refuses to speak it. Either the interpreter forgot the translation for the last part where he said unacceptable, or she forgot her lines. I don't know which one she was doing, but she definitely forgot. She stammered for a second, but she got it back.
This whole fucking segment was dog shit, by the way, but
Yeah,
please.
it was. Sorry, I really didn't need to give you that much detail, but those are the notes.
No. I'm saying for a debut and how this is all going, it's dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't be any worse than when Dustin shows up as 7. So we'll find out.
Oh,
we'll see
boy.
which one's worse.
Good and terrible.
Hopefully they have a feud with each other.
That would be pretty cool, actually. Gene's on the ramp. He's interrupted by Luger. Luger looks like shit. He just messed up his hair pretty much and tore his shirt a little bit. Said he was jumped in the locker room, saw red and yellow as he came to, going through his bag. And then he storms off. Next, you get Kenny Chaos and Prince Iaukea. That's a weird fucking matchup. Versus the West Texas Rednecks, specifically the Wyndham Brothers. Kendall does all the work in the match, never tags in Barry. He gets the win. They run down Harlem Heat post-match. Harlem Heat come out, they brawl, Booker covers somebody and gets a pinfall. Harlem Heat are in street clothes, they weren't in this match, they come out, Booker T somehow gets a pinfall. Because WCW.
It's like when Hogan pinned, I don't even remember who, like Rick Steiner, and he wasn't even in the fucking match a couple of weeks back.
Yeah. Or like Sid just pinning people in matches he's not in.
That too.
West Texas Rednecks end up hogtying Booker. Gene's in the ring with Luger again. Luger has a manila envelope with pictures, calls Sting out. And it's a picture of Hogan in the black and white NWO shirt, a black bandana standing by a white Hummer. I don't know what that proves. It took a second. They had to fucking make sure they talked about it out loud. Hogan comes to the ring. This is the infamous white Hummer that crashed into the limo when Nash was trapped in there. I thought at one point they showed Stinger Stang driving that thing. DDP comes in, hits one shitty punch to Hogan's back, and then just leaves. And then Hogan and Sting argue. Because WCW in 99.
You wanted to watch it.
Next is Hammer versus Buff. Berlin's entourage is watching from the top of the ramp, taking notes. Buff wins. We get a whole recap of the whole white Hummer smashing into Nash's limo. I actually think it was Macho's limo. Nash got in it, but whatever. Next, you get Mike Enos versus Evan Courageous. I said to myself, Sid has to be coming out here. It's fucking Mike Enos. Nope. It's Vampiro and ICP again. Vampiro takes out Enos while the ref is distracted. He does that. I don't even know what it is. It's like a top rope spin heel kick kind of thing that he does. He came off with so much force, he almost bumped the ref who wasn't paying attention. He went fucking flying across the ring.
Good jump.
And then Courageous gets the pin. Vampiro tells Courageous, you owe me. You owe me. And then we hear music hit. And Shivani says, oh, I know what this is. This is Kiss. It's God of Thunder. And then the fucking sarcophagus opens, and it's the fucking Kiss demon. That was the thumbnail.
Oh, shit, that was the thumbnail. Oh, my God, that's hysterical. You know that Love Gun is about his dick, right?
Yes, I don't know.
You ever seen Role Models? Paul Rudd, Sean William Scott?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, my God, where they're mentoring... One is McLovin, and the other one is this little fucking mouth.
I've heard of it, yes. I know which one you're talking about, yep.
Oh, my God. And he's like, he introduces him to Kiss, and he's like, I didn't know Jewish guys could sing like this. He goes, but they had to wear paint, so it was okay. And he goes, but this song is about his dick. He's like, you pulled the trigger of my love gun. See that? That's about his dick. So, there you go. That's Kiss. Yep.
Moving on.
Move on.
Hugh Morris and Brian Knobbs versus Malenko.
Give me a
Shane
chance,
Douglas.
and I will talk about some Kiss.
Okay, they end up fighting off.
Oh, shit. Little John hates Kiss.
So do I.
Wow. All right, you guys share that in common.
Yeah. Gotta draw the line
I was
somewhere.
made for loving you.
I'm sure you
Down
were.
in Detroit Rock City. Beth was her name. I heard her calling. Couldn't come home right now. Go ahead, please, before I decide to sing the rest of the song.
You got the last one in there. Gene's in ring with Hogan. Didn't we already do this twice? Why is Hogan? Hogan is back in the ring again.
Finish my fruit, brother. Now, time to get racist.
Oh, shit. He says next week he's going to prove Luger wrong, cuts a promo on DDP. Goldberg comes to the ring. Hogan wants a favor. He wants Goldberg's spot in a match against DDP. Goldberg says, we'll kill 3 punks with 1 stone. Sure. Goldberg and Hogan versus the Triad. You got a deal, brother. DDP comes to the top of the ramp. Bang. Next, you get Disco Dick Nuts in the ring. Dick Nuts cuts a promo for reasons. Calls out Rick Steiner. Wants his TV title. Steiner comes to the ring. They have a match squash. Steiner retains. Beatdown post-match. Saturn makes the save. Next, Jerry Flynn versus Benoit for the U.S. title because Benoit hits a flying headbutt. Morris, Barbarian, and Knobs run in. DQ. Revolution makes the save. Benoit calls out Sid for reasons. Triad.
On a revolution. Sorry.
Yeah. Triad versus Goldberg and Hogan. Hogan's the hot tag. DDP hits Goldberg with a chair. Hogan pins Bam Bam for the 3 while DDP hits a cutter on Goldberg. I don't get it. Goldberg no-sold the cutter, DDP powders. And then the best way that they can go off the show is cut to the back. And Sting is looking for Hogan. Why are you looking for Hogan in his locker? He's in the fucking ring. You fucking moron.
Have you been paying attention to the show?
Tell me you didn't know that Hogan was in the ring. So he goes to Hogan's locker room. There's security there. And Sting's like, yeah, get the fuck out of my way. I'm going in there. And it's Macho and George sitting right there when he opens the door. And Sting just looks at it like, whoa! And that's the end of Nitro.
It's great. It was great shit. It was riveting. I'll tune in next week.
Have you looked, kayfabe pal, have you looked at the doc? Have you looked at all the shit that I put in there?
No, I haven't. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the top topic.
The Top of Wrestling proudly presents to you a Big 4 production, non-wrestling. The following has absolutely nothing to do with wrestling. Just 2 sick, demented fucks talking about whatever the hell they feel like. If you get easily offended, we appreciate you listening this far, and we'll catch you later. Now bring on the dick jokes.
Well, here we are. I mean, this is the fun part. That's our 6th time doing it. It was your idea. One time I'd like to do just a top topic that's not about wrestling. Mm-hmm. Just see where shit goes.
Absolutely.
Here we are. It's non-wrestling 6.
Woo!
And dare I ask,
did you use the right bumper?
What did you add to the top topic? What am I missing?
Well, I didn't put it in there. I don't like giving you a heads up. So check this out. We were going to my parents Sunday, and my parents live in Greece. So it's the only time I go to Greece, because fuck Greece. I'm going down Ridge.
Same with the country.
Yeah, no, they're cool, man. I mean, a lot of them live in the town of Greece, so I mean, there's that. So
I was in the show Grease.
Of course you were.
But you want to hear the best part? I was Eugene, the dork. I wasn't even cool enough to be with all the guys in leather jackets. They saw me, they're like, you look like he would get beat up.
Well, at least you didn't get typecast, So we're driving down Ridge Road. We get to Dewey. All right,
it was a lovely
Dewey,
day.
Dewey in West
Saturday.
Ridge. Used to live right down the road from there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm at a red light, and I see a woman in a motor scooter on the far corner, and she gets the pedestrian light, so she starts zooming across the crosswalk. For those of you who don't know, Ridge Road, West Ridge Road, is a 6-lane road. It's so she starts
some parts, yes,
trekking along. Well, the guy making the right-hand turn wasn't paying attention. Ran right into her. Dude, I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I just see her going across, and then I look to the right, and I see this car making a right, and I'm like, he's not stopping. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yo, you watched her get hit?
Yeah. She was on the far side, so I couldn't see her, but I know she got hit because I could see under the car, and you could see the fucking thing just knock over. Now, he didn't run over her necessarily. The tires never made any contact. She got pinned though a little bit, I think, under the front hood because the dude it wasn't that boy sized of a dude, but it was close
enough. Fucking
enough.
my Wendy's fell and I wasn't paying attention.
He ain't going nowhere. The bakery ain't open yet. So but this dude comes shuffling out, and he runs to the other side of the car, and he runs back into his car, and he backs up a little bit. He's in the middle lane of the westbound traffic on 104. Bro, I was like, well, I guess I'm taking a right on Dewey.
Man, you didn't stay and be a witness
No,
or anything?
fuck that. Jackie called, she called fucking 911. I was like, yo, this shit just popped off.
Yo. Wow, it's funny. Not necessarily that boy size. I said Wendy's because I'll never forget, man. We played a fucking huge cook-off, or a cookout that they were making a giant pig for 24 hours.
Oh, shit.
They also had hamburgers, hot sausages, chicken, everything you could fucking do. We show up to this gig, Nate, that boy, and myself. And that boy is legitimately drinking the rest of a Frosty. We go, you stop at Wendy's on the way here? He goes, yeah. He goes, I got something to eat. I'm like, yo, food is all, like, it's at our leisure. And he goes, I don't eat other people's food. You trust some fucking 16-year-old at Wendy's, but you ain't going to take these guys. And by the way, the guys that cook the meals, you may know, it's the two guys that are extremely well known outside of the Ralph that are always cooking, like barbecue and shit. Two big black guys. You ever seen them?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I see them all the time when I go to the games. Yeah.
They were at this party.
No
they were
shit.
The ones making all the ribs and the fucking pig and everything. Because my buddy my guy who recorded me back in the day, he's somewhat of a producer. Also does music for like movie scores. He like plays music and shit like that behind movie things like that. But those guys were at the party.
No
Nate
shit.
and I were like, fuck yeah. We're like, we are getting so fucking full on food. And they're like, yo, put some shit to the side so you guys can have it after, because we know you guys can't eat ahead of time. What's going on with a fuckload of ribs? That boy's like, I don't eat other people's food. You trust Wendy's.
That's kind of some of the most ass backward things I've ever heard. So, like, if I made like that brisket that I made, he'd be like, nah, I ain't make it.
Pretty much, man.
Fucking weirdo.
Which is funny because he did participate in that steak cook-off that time as a judge, but I think it was just a bunch of free food coming right into his fat gullet.
I'll take it. I ain't going anywhere.
Bakery ain't open for another hour.
Oh, shit. So
I know you said you wanted to lead in, and I realized that I didn't
did.
really let you. But
No, I did.
Oh, yeah, you did lead in. Yeah, okay. So, man, I had messaged you. I said, I think you should get inebriated and think of some top topics. And you said, well, not doing the inebriation thing, but I'll get some top topics going here, some ideas or whatever for today. So what did your sober ideas come up with? What did you want to talk about today?
Nobody said I was sober. Anyway.
Like I was going to put my feet on his couch.
Yeah, I put my feet on his couch.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
For real. So my boys right now, they're in Philly. Fucking drove down Philly to see Incubus.
Damn.
So yeah, they're in the arena right now. So, but
they had a taste of Philly last week, and they're like, all right, we're heading back.
Pittsburgh. We went to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Same state. Isn't it weird though that there's like other cities inside of Pennsylvania? You know, like you got Philly, right? But it's like weird to have more, right? It's one of my favorite parts of It's Always Sunny. Yeah, it's actually very common.
Yeah, that's fucking great. But yeah, no, it's kind of harrowing because I was debating on whether or not to tell this story because I know Wheezy listens and I know Wheezy's just gonna fucking bust my balls. But this morning is when they left. They drove down, just the two of them, two kids, and Mrs. ODM goes, "Listen, do me a favor. Before they leave, just check his oil real quick." He's like, "I've been telling him to go get his oil changed, and I don't think he has." I'm like, "All right, fine." I got a history. I blew an engine in a car. I still attest to this day it wasn't necessarily my fault. It fucking had a leaky head gasket. Wiesner told me. I listen. There was neglect on my part to some extent, but part of it was just a shitty car. Blew an engine. Mike did a lot of work for me. Bust my balls to this day. Needless to say, I've been better about car maintenance. So I'm like,
when you got a dickhead friend that just keeps hounding you about your past mistake.
Yeah. So anyway,
hey,
I fucking check his oil. Yeah, and I'm like, there's like barely any oil in here. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at the sticker. The last oil change is February.
Gee, okay, yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker. So I just run up to AutoZone. I throw a few quarts in there. I'm like, listen, asshole. Next time, get your shit together. Get it checked. Get your oil changed on time.
The
every
eldest?
time. Yes.
Oh,
19.
it's got to be the eldest. Never mind.
Yeah,
or else
yeah,
the other
yeah.
one would be
Yeah,
fucking
the other one's
driving
not
himself to
driving yet.
baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit, right? For real. See you later, bro. But yeah, anyway, so there's that. We're going to Niagara Falls September 12th to see Clutch on the Canadian side at a casino. Yep. It's going to be weird, not a show I would see in like a seated arena used to the floor, but it should be fun. But the best part is the eldest will be with us, and he is 19. So that means he can go to the casino. It means he can buy himself
Drink.
a beer. He might be able to
Smoke.
go to the dispensary.
Actually, can he, even if you're 18 or older and
It's 19.
in New York, can't you at 18, or you have to be 21 or older for recreational?
21.
No shit.
Yep.
As you said, it's Niagara Falls?
Yeah, Canadian side.
Niagara
side.
Falls, Frankie Angel. Can't not say that when I hear that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a major fan of Incumbus. I like Drive.
All right.
Yeah, I know I said it right.
Yeah, I know. I got
Never really got into Incubus, really, honestly.
No?
Clutch, I feel like that is a deep, deep band. Like
you gotta like them. You gotta like them. Yeah, you're not necessarily gonna hear 'em.
right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to hear a lot of this shit on the radio, but not opposed to it. So, you've actually never done this for me. You should send some Clutch shit my way.
Yeah,
Be
definitely.
Clutch on it.
You'll love it. Get clutchy with it.
Come in Clutch. I like that.
You
I knew a girl named Clutch.
phrasing. What?
Speaking of, come in Clutch. No, I'm just kidding.
Boo! Yikes!
All right, what else you got on the list?
So I went. So listen, man. Fucking no. You know what I'm saying? No, you know. I went to one of the exactly. I went to one of the 3 officially state licensed dispensaries for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 in Henrietta. There's one on Monroe Ave. If you don't live here, if you're not familiar with the area, you don't need to know. If you know, you know.
I checked out Monroe when I was at Jazz Fest. It was a very rainy day.
Oh, did you? You went there?
I Ubered to and from because it was a very, very, very fucking rainy day.
Was it nice?
Yeah, it was all right.
Price is good?
I was fine. It was no better or worse than what I was dealing with in California.
Okay, so that's actually a good thing. Okay. So anyway, I went to one of the ones in Henrietta. I actually had to drop my kid off, so I was there. I was like, fuck it, let's go. It was just weird. It was... I felt like some of the fun got taken out of it. The storefront itself is really nice. They got
Because it wasn't a bunch of guys sitting on a couch playing PlayStation, and one
no,
guy
no. Well,
had to go into his room, into a box to get it out, and you had to give him straight up
Shoebox.
cash.
shoebox. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, man. I do miss.
Not that I've ever seen that done before.
something romantic
Only
about
heard
those
about
days.
it.
Yeah, something romantic about those days. But no, it's so again, everything was nice. It was very fresh. Everybody was very polite. It looked like they had a lot of merch, but it was very it was almost robotic because it was just, all right, go to that touchscreen, order what you want. If you have a question, I'm here. Once you place your order, go up to the checkout, go up to whoever's open, show them your license. They get your order, it come out. It was weird the way they did the money.
Oh, I fucking love it. I hate interacting with people, man.
But
you mean to tell me I could go in there and I could just touch a touch screen?
But one of my
God
things,
damn.
But one of my things was like, I felt like when she said that, I was like, well, I kind of want to look around, but I could have just looked around. I didn't. But yeah, no, it was weird the way the money worked because it was some weird shit where it was cash or debit. They didn't take credit cards.
But if you do the debit, they have to add a couple dollars on their end, and they'll give you money. They round up, and they give you money back. Shit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens out here, too, and it happened. I was like, it's interesting how it happens, and I'm like, I think it's their way of being able to hand you cash back so that they can go, and by the way, this tip jar in front of you looks pretty fucking empty.
Yeah. I didn't tip.
That's... What? Yeah, it's fine. You really don't have to. It's not like they're actually in the back.
You know what this is?
All your shit. What do you mean you don't tip? Doesn't tip. You shut up.
Shut up.
Hey, you know what? There's plenty of other jobs out there they can get.
Yeah, I guess. We'll go with that.
One of his, I love him in that role, honest to God. And he's like,
Which
it's funny
one?
because that's the same guy that's, what's his name?
Buscemi?
Buscemi, and it's funny because he's in so many other things, like when you see him in like Big Daddy and shit like that, but you're like, nope, one of his best roles was Reservoir Dogs, and he was good in that fucking thing. He was a believable scumbag.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Loved him in that shit.
Yeah. That
What
one.
am I, the only fucking professional here?
he fucking carjacks the lady, like just breaks the window and just like grabs her by the hair and pulls her right
pulls
out.
her out.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And then the whole, you don't want to say the word, but,
Yeah.
the word. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, is that what you guys do? Is that what you want to be? Is that what you... I'm like, Jesus Christ, when you go back and watch it now. But
like,
he's kind of a, honestly, like a role stealer in that movie, to me.
I mean, he ultimately is one of the main characters, so, I mean, maybe not as much.
But, like, his acting, I don't mind Cartel, or Harvey Cartel.
Keitel.
Or Keitel, Jesus Christ. I knew I was wrong on it. You obviously have a soft spot for, was it Roth?
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Eric, I think. No.
And you've never watched
Tim Roth.
Hateful Eight? Tim Roth.
No. I haven't gotten around to it. I just saw something the other day. I got to watch that one.
Because he's in that one as well, and has a completely different accent. He's like, my name is Musbury Rosbury, like a very like different kind of like it's not the same guy that's like, my friends come over, they're cool, but I'm trying to watch the Lost Boys.
This is a great accent.
How did we get to where we're at right now with that? How did we get to
dispensary? It's something to do with the dispensary. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the tip.
The tip, yeah.
What do you mean you don't tip?
There you go.
Like a virgin. Oh, yeah. Anyway. This is regular cool. Anyway. No, the dispensaries are kind of different all over the place, when they're legal. And that's the point, is that you can go there. If people think like it's like, to some people it's weird. Like, it sounds like we're just talking about, we're just going and doing drugs and blah, blah, blah. This is legal shit. It's about as legal as beer in every one of these fucking states.
Yeah.
And some of the dispensaries are different. I went into one not too long ago, and I didn't realize it was happy hour. Walked into a fucking nightclub, man. Black lights and smoke. It's like,
Jesus.
like, hey, how are you? I'm like, not high enough. But all right, here we go. But they have, all different sorts of stuff, man. And like I said, with edibles, some people can do them. I can't. Doesn't work for me. But man, they got all sorts of different shit nowadays, man. It's kind of fun, but again, then you can also, if you go back to last week's paranoia episode of my own, sometimes not everything apparently works out as it should be. I was hanging with my brother-in-law this past weekend at the family celebration thing, and I was telling him about that. It was called Orange Crush, by the way. I figured out the name of it. It was like Orange Crush or whatever. And I go, after about the fourth one out of a 5-pack, I realized this is where the panic attack is coming from. It's like, damn. I go, yeah. I go, so at least I knew it the next time I had the last one. It's not anything else but this little guy right here.
Which I'm about to smoke right now.
All right, quick side note to the celebration of life. So I had to go to town. It was my uncle, my godfather. It was a rough fucking weekend because it was a lot of, emotions. My aunt, her husband, or his wife was there. Just a whole lot of family. A lot of family I haven't seen in a long time because A, with my travels, B, with, we'll say exiled. And the dickhead brother. All right, so the party starts at 1 o'clock Eastern, right?
Right.
3 out of 4 of the siblings or kids of the home, my parents, are there setting everything up. So me and my 2 sisters. Dickhead brother shows up like 12:35, party starting at 1. Fashionably cuntly late. Inconsiderately late. Anyway. At like 12:50, man, we're talking 10 minutes before the party begins. He waits until both of my parents were nowhere nearby or anybody else that's really going to start shit. And he goes, hey, I know we're not talking with each other. And immediately in my head, I go, Jesus Christ, here we go. I'm like, this is everything why I didn't want to come to town. Here's the panic. Here we go. Not the panic, but here's the fight. Where's the Bills pennants? And immediately in my head, I just start laughing. We used to have Bills pennants in our fucking bedroom. And one was signed by a couple of Bills players back in the day and shit. They weren't mine. They were his. He goes, where are they? I know that you probably took them when you left out. And I go, yo, I never had them. He goes, bullshit, you had them. Like, coming at me like a real fucking cunt. And I go, look it, you came to both my apartment and both of my houses. Did you ever see him hanging anywhere? Because I never had it. There was a Hulk Hogan poster. You want that one too? Not kidding. Like the one of him lifting fucking weights. I'm not sure. Like 100%. He tried starting to fucking fight with me, and I was like, this is why I don't come home. I fucking hate. Yeah, I got dickhead brother. So if you guys ever want to know why we ever say the words dickhead brother, look at that. Within 5 seconds, just coming at like a fucking aggressive dick. And I'm like, 2 minutes before the party begins, I'm like, God damn, you're a fucking... Damn. Yeah. You met him. You seen him.
I did?
You can look at him. Did you say you did, like a question mark, or you have?
No, question mark. I don't remember meeting him.
Oh, well, not maybe fully head on, but he's been at multiple things.
Okay.
You may remember he was the guy at my cancer benefit that had a perm, tried to look like Bret Hart. He thought if he grew his hair out and got a perm, a real male's perm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job with that.
What else? Yeah. What's on your docket? What else is up?
Oh, I don't know. I figure we just go from here. I think we're having a good conversation. So, like, what's next on your travels? Where you moved from Salinas to...
Don't tell people where the fuck I'm at.
You already said it, dumbass.
I say it every week where I'm at. I've always thought about that. I'm like, can't wait till one day there's a crazed fan. It's like, I like AEW, and just stabs me outside of my house.
It's been known to happen. You never know.
I know that's... You're a Mark, not Tony. Cocaine is great. It is. No, but... So, you know the song Jump in the Line? My girl's name is Sonora.
Yeah.
I tell you, girls, I adore her. Well, I'm in Sonora, California. Like I said, when I say population 12, like, it's fucking tiny here. But I'm always like, I live in Sonora. Anyway. It's not bad. It's been pretty fucking hot. It's funny, while I was in New York, my wife's like, it's like 70 here. It's a nice breeze. I come back, it's going to be all 90s this week. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But not too shabby up here. I like it.
Isolated.
So the town that we're in is outside of it, but it's like here's the thing, man. If you play GTA 5, you have San Andreas, you got Sonora. My wife is actually working at a place near San Andreas. It's like we're like right in GTA country right here.
Oh, no shit.
I'm already looking for Trevor Phillips, besides Girl with the Chicklets.
Be scared. You might find him.
Pretty much on every corner you're going to find a homeless man. No. Close.
Sounds awesome.
Sounds awesome. Some are. You know, there were some places I've met some homeless people, and I've actually sat down and had full-blown conversations with them. And then when I go into the Quickie Mart or whatever is right there, they're like, man, could you grab me a little something? Grab me a little mini shots or something like that. Or I'm like, you know, I have no problem. If they sometimes, you know, you ask for a drink or a sandwich or whatever, I'll get you. When someone's like, you got $20, I promise you we're fine. It's a pretty solid opener, my man. Hi.
Just coming right out with it.
You got 20? No, but I have a job. Never mind.
Yeah. There's that too.
So anyway, Hulk Hogan, your uncle. You think they'll ever meet up at like a rally?
If he happens to be down in Florida, maybe.
Hogan or your uncle? Because I think they both live there.
Yes.
Okay. They both live in Venice.
No.
I swear to God, if you laughed really hard there, I was like, I got it right again.
You got it again? No way. No, that's a miss.
Man, there was something I actually really did want to bring up to you that I thought was going to be somewhat of important today. Actually, yeah, I do. So, the Bills, name it. What is the record this season? First of all, how many games are there? 18 in total? Or 18 weeks? You play 17 or some shit?
I think it's 17.
What's the record? Call it.
12-5.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to hate this. 7-7.
Really? You think they're going to be that bad?
Yeah, we really don't have a whole lot when it comes to a strong receiving team. Wide receiving team, at least. I think our short game is going to be pretty decent. I think Kincaid and Knox are... To me, I'd have one on each side of the goddamn field. You know what I mean?
Kincaid
playing both at the same time.
Kincaid's basically a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's a tight end, but he's basically a wide receiver. He's your slot receiver.
I'm not optimistic about this season. I think it's going to be a rebuilding season. I think we're going to have a lot of kinks.
I disagree. I think Josh is going to own this team, and he's going to make do with what he has, and he's going to have a Tom Brady-esque season where it is going to be short passes. Who are you going to cover? All right, here's a 5-yard pass. Here's a 5-yard pass. Here's a 10-yard run. Here's a 5-yard pass. That's it.
Look at maybe why I'm being this way. It's the last 2-3 years. Go back to 2021. I think it was, or the beginning of 2022, which way you want to look at it. That Bills-Chiefs game that went to overtime, the last 2-minute warning that went 40 fucking minutes with a bunch of touchdowns, everything that happened, I think that was our last, best, biggest shot. And I think things went downhill ever since from there. And, we got knocked out, what was it, in 2023 in the beginning, the fucking, first round. Yeah. Personally, maybe I'm Randy Quaid. Maybe that's what's happening here.
Could be.
They're going to blow it. And, deep down, I'm going to be the guy at the very end. It's Wild Thing. It's Josh Allen. Yeah. But I have to be pessimistic because I've been, all right, let's go through this here. The first season I will ever remember, the first game I ever really remember, Bills-Giants.
Super Bowl 25.
That's real. Yeah. Then after that, it was everything, man. The Redskins, both Cowboys games, Music City Miracle, Frank Wright, everybody, Doug Flutie, Rob Johnson, Drew Bledsoe. I've been
Trent
there
Edwards.
through some good shit, some bad. Oh, yeah. EJ Manuel. I've had years and years and years and years. And what's his fucking name? Beard dude. Conor McGregor 2.0.
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick, who I still think should just come out of retirement and be a backup fucking quarterback for our team. But anyway, I've had so many years where I've been so up and then very, very down, being like, they're fucking shit. And then the last couple of years, I've had my hopes way too goddamn high.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to shit on them all year long. I'm going to root against them. Randy Quaid style.
Whatever works for you, brother.
It's the mild thing, Josh Allen. The pull your dick and make me cry thing. Or whatever the fuck he says.
Close enough. We'll go with it.
I have no other option. I feel like I have to be very pessimistic.
Yeah, listen.
Because then when I'm optimistic, I spend every Sunday putting my goddamn emotions on the line waiting to see how I'm going to feel by 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock or when the game is done. And then the rest of my day, I'm just depressed going, I'm never going to see it happen. My life is a failure because I'm a Bills fan.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you need to let
feelings,
go. No, I do not have the same feelings. No, again, I'm going with what I talked about, which Wheezy brought up a lot. So I just want to give him credit there real quick. But no, man, I don't think it's easy to look at the team, and man, because you fucking have high hopes for this fucking team, and it's nice to see him on top for once. But they just keep fucking falling short, and how much more can you take? Because it's almost like the 4 Super Bowls again, but you didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. So, dude, I get it. But, man, I'm just trying to put my faith because Bean's done a good job with the organization. I like McDermott. They've got talent on the team. Josh Allen's a stud. He'll lead them to greatness. That's all there is to it.
I'm still shocked McDermott's the coach.
Yeah.
And I only say that in terms of when times we should have been aggressive, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And times we should have been conservative, he wasn't. And it's like, and it makes you literally do the Oscars palm to the head, Phil Donahue bullshit thing we talked about from Naked Gun. It's when you're like, Play it safe. Run the ball. Why the fuck did you throw it down the field and make an interception? We needed to play it safe. And then vice versa. That's what has been going on with the Bills for at least the last year. Last year, I feel like, was just a shit show. I was surprised we even made it anywhere near a playoff last year.
I mean, was it really that bad? Yeah, actually, it was pretty bad.
To an extent.
To an extent, yeah, it was, definitely. I don't know, man. Listen,
last year was worse than when he had a guy die on the field the year before.
Well, there's that, too.
And let me say another thing about that.
Jesus.
That's a waste of fucking money. I'm not talking about Bronx Tale, it's a waste of talent. I'm talking Damar Hamlin is a fucking waste of money. Next to Von Miller, he's right up there because you used him for 4 fucking plays last year, but we kept him because he nearly died for us. Fine. I get it. But now that the nostalgia wore off, he's alive, he's well, and he's still not doing plays, cut his fucking ass. If he doesn't even play in the first 2 games this year, we kept him for no goddamn reason.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there. I won't disagree with you. My concern is the secondary. Reports are Von's looking good. You know what? Just put him out there on third downs. That's all we really need him for.
Yeah, and then he's going to fucking twist his toe and go out for the next 10 weeks.
Well, if he does, he does. We'll fucking see what happens with that. But, yeah, I'm just trying to remain optimistic, man. I think they can get it done.
Fucking bring in the fucking bulldozers. Take this place down. Turn this shit into a parking lot.
Well, they're going to eventually.
I know. It's not fair that it actually works that way.
Yeah, right?
I want to be, but I can't be optimistic. So I'm going to be a total asshole this season.
Yeah, what else?
Even if we're like 14-0, I'm going to be like, doesn't matter. We're getting kicked out of the playoffs first round.
We're going to blow it in the 9th.
You're going to love this season with us. I think that's probably the best way to really dip out of this show.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for listening to the Top of Wrestling podcast. Non-wrestling was a little bit more interesting this week than I thought it was going to be. A little more deep, but that's different. That's the best part about this. Next week, we're going to get real deep because we're going to be talking about one of the greatest controversial bands,
Polarizing.
I feel like, of all time.
Polarizing,
yes.
Yeah.
And I'll even give the name right now because I want everybody to stew on this one. Because I want you, and don't even give me a fucking opinion at all right here and be like, they're this, and blah, 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 or whatever. Save it for next week. Nickelback. Are they as bad as everybody really says it is, or are they not listening, or are they pretty decent and you got haters for no reason? Kind of like, your marks. We're going to dive into the conversation next week of Nickelback. I'm waiting for next week. You're just going to be like, they suck. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Anyway, but it is the Top of Wrestling podcast. I am the Professor. I bid you a farewell. And every week, he likes to leave us with some thoughts. They've been interesting the last couple of weeks. Let's see what ODM has to leave us with this week.
Thanks, Professor. Yeah, it's been fun, and I definitely want to start to do that some more. I think that'd be an excellent trend. Let me see if I get some stuff queued up. This week I'm going to go a little bit different. I just want to take a moment to talk about...
It works with the music
now,
theme.
I got you. Well, so we'll save it for those weeks. But no, just a moment to appreciate what we do here. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's not the greatest show. Sometimes we have a lot of fun, and that works the best. At end of the day, Professor especially puts in a lot of work to make this thing happen. It's just a show of appreciation. I just want to say that. But there are some times where I just got to send you a big fuck you and just go my own way. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. Nickelback sucks! Good night, everybody! The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor Mark Fantasia and ODM, the Doc, Joe Rizzo. Feel free to reach out to the show by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com, on their Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. You can listen to the show on most popular platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, and YouTube. Without your continued support, it would be just some guys talking wrestling, which is pretty much what it is anyway. Good night, folks.
That may be the running for the winner of the name of the show.
A
ref is a ref, of course, of course. Bro, that shit got me. So good.
I didn't think it was that funny, but okay.
I thought it was fucking bomb. That was great.
Oh, shit.
Right on.
I'd like to lead in if I can.
I would love you to.
All right.
Do you want to lead into Raw too?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's have you run in this time. Let's try it.
If you smell la 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 la,
You didn't give it enough time. Start over.
Ah, fuck. Well, anyway, it's Raw. It's August 30th.
No, I meant give it 10 seconds, man. I need to be able to do it for editing purposes.
My bad. I didn't like
You
that
moob?
anyway. I didn't like it anyway.
All right. Well, good. You can start it over. In 10. You fucked yourself up, didn't you?